Hey everybody, and welcome to what is this, Oren and Aiden? Is this the fifth edition of our award series? I believe it's the fifth, and then we have one more after this. I'm here myself, Sahal Abdi. I'm here with Oren Weisfeld and Aiden Moss. We're here on behalf of Wrap Up, but also we're giving you guys, if you haven't watched the last four videos, we've given you guys an award series where we started off with MVP, Rookie of the Year. We've done Sixth Man, and we've done Most Improved Player of the Year. And in today's show, we're going to go right ahead. This is a good one, guys. A little bit of an underrated one. We're going to go with Defensive Player of the Year. And I'm going to get a bit wild in this one. I'm giving you guys a warning right now. I'm going to get a tiny bit wild.
Christian Coloco.
Hey, no one expected Joshua Primo, right? No one expected that for MIP. And Oren basically called me dumb for picking him. But let's get started, guys. So we're gonna start with the draft generator, and I swear at this point, Oren, if I don't get first in this draft, because I haven't gotten first yet, and you and Aiden have tasted that first position,
it's pretty glorious.
Yeah,
here we're gonna explain the rules first.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go through the rules. So really quickly, guys, from the top down, it is going to be a snake draft. So for example, if Aiden gets the third pick, he's gonna have a back-to-back pick, and then it's gonna go up to Oren, and then back to myself, and it's just gonna go like that. Top 5 vote getters, the earning point system. First place gets 5 points. So second place gets 4 points, third 3 points, and so on and so forth. So for example, if Oren selects
Nick Nurse.
I mean, Oren's always chalk with Defensive Player of the Year. So if he goes,
Oren's going with Phil Jackson for his first pick.
We're doing Defensive Player.
Oh yeah.
Stop saying coaches.
So Oren's gonna go Marcus Smart. And if Marcus Smart, let's say, gets third in the voting, then he will get 3 points to end off the season. So we are obviously going to revisit this at the end of the year. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a midway thing just to catch up and see where we are. And then players, we're going to show you guys an odds list as well. Players with plus 2,000 odds or better will receive a 2x multiplier. So, for example, if, I don't know, name a random player.
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons. If Ben Simmons is a plus 2,500 and Oren selects him and he ends up in third place in Defensive Player of the Year voting, he won't get 3 points. Instead, he will get 6 points. So that's the rules.
Yeah. The only thing is we're only going to draft 3 people each, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. We confirm that? Okay, you want to do 5?
Okay, let's go through it.
I knew he didn't want to do 5. Okay.
We'll do 5.
I'd draft 10 guys if I could.
We'll do 5, but Coach of the Year, we're only doing 3 because we're not picking 15 out of 30 coaches.
We're not picking half.
That sounds insane. Okay. But we'll do 5. We'll do 5.
We'll do 5.
Justin Holiday's gonna get picked. I don't know.
Yeah, just some. Yeah. Oren, do you want to pull up the draft generator really quick just to decide who goes first, second, and third in this draft?
Who wants first? Who wants first the most?
I want first.
I think of all the drafts, this first is probably most important for this.
Why do you think that? Who do you think should go first overall?
Well, I just historically Defensive Player of the Year has belonged to like 4 or 5 people, kind of like MVP. Like I feel like those two are the most important.
Yeah, I'll generate and then we can talk about it. Yo, I'm first.
Yeah,
I might trade my pick, but yeah. Well, I mean, before I pick, let's just go off that. Oren, Sahal, Aiden. It used to be chalk, but I feel like Marcus Smart getting picked last year completely messes up how you approach it this year. Yeah. Like you used to go into these drafts, had we had done them, knowing you're going to pick a center who mans the rim and quarterbacks the defense. Yeah, you're gonna, but now you can pick a guard like Marcus Smart who's really switchable. You can pick a wing, like you can go any way with it.
Yeah. I would kind of agree with you, and I feel like Ja Morant for the most improved kind of like changed how most improved like was drafted moving forward. I think what happened with the Marcus Smart is everybody's like, "Whoa, Marcus Smart, like a guard since Gary Payton, blah blah blah." And now the narrative is like, you know what? In retrospect, that wasn't the right choice, and we're gonna swing back into like the old school, you've got to be able to protect the paint kind of mentality.
Yeah, so you have to guard some shine for 1 year, but this isn't an anomaly. I think I agree, Aiden. Yeah. So if Oren didn't say it, I believe he did, but the first pick will be Oren. Oren's going to start us off in the draft. I'll
trade you my pick if you want.
I
And then
thought
Aiden's
about
got the
it.
last pick.
I thought about it, but no, because you're gonna take who I want. So no.
Okay, sorry, Sahal.
There's so many good selections here.
No,
So Oren,
really, it is hard.
yeah,
I
it's
can't
all
believe
you.
we're going
Start us
5
off.
guys, though. That's insane. But
It's
okay.
not insane. I think there's a legit 10 people who could compete.
All right. We'll see. So Gobert is obviously like the guy who won 2 years in a row before Smart, but now he's playing. I don't know, actually. It's a weird thing where I'm like, I feel like Cat will take away just the idea that they're playing 2 7-footers together, narrative wise, will take away from like the 1 7-footer who's actually manning the defense. But I do think there is something to be said for like he's not in the same type of system he was before, where like it was all reliant on him. So I'm not gonna go Gobert. I'm gonna go my guy Giannis Antetokounmpo. My Greek guy. I'll always take Giannis if I get the first pick. I feel like, regardless of the draft, I just feel like
I would be taken too.
He almost won last year. I think he came third. Is that correct?
I think
he came third.
Yeah.
Again, I think Milwaukee's going to be good. I think he might be the MVP, and he's done it before. He's done the DPOY MVP thing before. It's obviously a tall task to ask him to carry the offense like he's going to have to with kind of an older team and do this, but I think he's pretty good. So I'll go Giannis number 1.
Did you see the speaking of Giannis and winning all these awards? Did you see the interview with Goran Dragic when he kind of trashed?
Yep, I saw it, but
Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah, it did not make me like thing.
I mean, it did. It didn't make me like him, but it made my dislike for him slide down the spectrum a little bit. From a 99 hatred to like a 76.
Wow,
70.
No. Oh, I'm way higher than that.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I liked Goran before he totally like fucked us over. I was in the Goran camp.
I wasn't, and I think that was just the DeMar DeRozan thing. But getting back to this, second pick, I'm gonna make it easy, guys. So Oren went Giannis with the first pick. Second pick, I'm gonna go Joel Embiid. And there's 2 reasons for that. There's actually 3 now that I see the odds. So the 2x multiplier is obviously top reason. But Joel Embiid, for me, I think in the last 2 years, he's came second, I believe, in MVP voting. And I do not think he's going to win the MVP again this year. And Joel Embiid is clearly one of the best defensive players, not just bigs in the league, defensive players. I think when you look at a guy like Joel, can affect the game in so many ways. I mean, Raptors fans know it best. They saw him in the playoffs. He's absolutely elite on that side of the floor. But I think him winning a Defensive Player of the Year is almost going to serve him that we know you didn't win MVP these last few years, and you probably had an MVP level season, and you probably also had a Defensive Player of the Year level season. So we're just going to hand this to you. Because I'm looking at some of the other guys. Again, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to give away ideas. But there are some names here that I do think have a legitimate chance. But going back to what Aiden said, I do think that the year Marcus Smart won this past season, the Defensive Player of the Year award, I do think it was an anomaly for a guard to win it. And I think it's going to go right back to the norm where a big is going to win. So I was actually going to go Joel with my first pick as well. So I'm going to go Joel Embiid for those, that multitude of reasoning.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
Yeah, Giannis and Joel were my top 2.
Oh, so you're screwed. You're absolutely panicking. Yeah, panicking.
I am panicking a little bit. I kind of think it's a drop off ever so slightly, and
I do too.
Fuck. Yeah. I don't agree with you that Cat takes away from Gobert. In fact, Cat has such a bad reputation as a defensive player. If Minnesota plays like pretty solid defense, it's going to be attributed to Gobert. I just don't love cheering for that team necessarily.
Or Gobert.
I mean, I feel like Gobert gets too much hatred. I'm not going to say I don't like cheering for him. He's not my favorite player or anything. But I will draft Rudy Gobert with my third pick, just because at this point I'm worried about winning and I have to take a guy who's already won it twice, is a defensive monster, and hopefully with a more athletic group around him, will be the spearhead of a spirited defensive team. For my fourth pick, this is where I really feel like it drops off, but I'm going to go with Draymond Green. And I know he's getting older. I know that the Warriors might have a little bit of a championship hangover, but if he had remained healthy last year, he would have probably won. He's a fun player to cheer for, so he's like the antithesis of Rudy Gobert. And I just think every year, or since Durant has left, every year we're kind of like Golden State, and I don't know, like Draymond Green, he's getting up there, and then they come out and they just impress us all. And so I'd be foolish not to take Draymond.
I like that. Draymond's going to be my pick.
This is a really hard draft for me, I'm realizing, because I wouldn't take Draymond, or I was thinking I wouldn't take him because the love, I guess, the opposite of blame would be put on like a lot of guys. Like there's Andrew Wiggins there, and then there's Kevon Looney, and those guys are really good defenders and people. So I just, the love gets sprayed out in a way, but at the same time, Marcus Smart won last year and Robert Williams had some real buzz. So it is possible two guys on the same team can actually come in like the top 3 of this award, which kind of makes it really complicated for me to know where to go with this.
And Dre's already established himself as a defensive quarterback, right? So like the reputation's there. If they have a good defense, then there's not going to be any questioning about Dre.
Okay.
But I don't feel great about it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So
this is
Sahal, you already have an X. Nice. Embiid is a 2-time guy.
Yeah, this is going to be. This one's going to be hard because now you almost have to, like, I'm sure you guys are as well. I'm looking at a lot of these names. I'm trying to make a case in my head for each player. And there's always that one thing that's like, oh, you can't pick him because of this. Al Horford, he may not play a lot of games. I don't know. Evan Mobley, like, does he have that name yet?
Russell Westbrook's at 8,000.
Why does Russell Westbrook have a higher, better odds of winning?
25.
OG, he has the same odds as OG.
Wait, guys. Why does Russell Westbrook have a better odd of winning this award than Jonathan Isaac, Paul George,
Wiggins,
DeAndre Ayton, Russell Westbrook? Okay. Okay, my second pick, and I believe it's the 5th overall selection in our Defensive Player of the Year draft. I'm gonna go. This is where the big risk comes in. I'm gonna go Anthony Davis.
That's a good one.
And the reason I'm going Anthony Davis is because I think when he's healthy, he's probably a top 3 defender on this entire list for me. When he's healthy and when he's at his best, it's just really just going to come down to health. I mean, I don't know who gave him this nickname, but Anthony Data Davis is one of the best nicknames I think out there.
That's good. I've never heard that.
What is it?
It's a good one. Anthony Data Davis. He's a plus 1,400, so I don't get the 2,000 multiply. I don't get the 2x, but it's just a matter of him staying healthy. I just think if he stays healthy, he's gonna guarantee me points, and he might win this award. So I'm gonna go Anthony Davis. People are forgetting about a lot of players on this list because they've been injured or whatever else.
I did not forget Anthony Davis. The injury thing is just so questionable.
That's the scary part. Yeah,
as is his dressing every game.
Yep. At this point, everyone has a flaw, though. Like the obvious guys have been taken off the board. Someone's going to pick Ben Simmons, so that's really too bad. My first guy, his only real flaw is that his team might not win enough games, but I'll take Bam with my first pick. But I have 2 picks. Not really sure where to go after. Any thoughts on Bam?
When you say win enough games, though, do you mean like I don't think you have to? I think you just have to almost be in the playoff race because Utah's been hovering around that 4th, 5th seed for the last I don't know how many years.
No, and I think Rudy they were really good the first 2 years. The 2 years Rudy won.
They've had 2.
Correction, 3 years. Rudy Gobert's won 3 years in a row. All right.
Okay, maybe one of those years they were like a 4 seed, but 2 of those years they were a top 2 seed. I think.
Do you think so? Okay, then. Maybe I'm mistaken. Yeah.
I don't know.
Rudy
Like,
Gobert
we
is
should
also he
probably
won it.
look
He
up
won it by a
the
mile
list.
too. So
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that pick. Bam's gonna be in the discussion. I mean, at this point, why not just guarantee you points, right? So Bam's probably gonna do that for you. Miami's gonna be a really good defensive team as per usual. Probably the best defensive coach in the league, one of the best, if not, in Eric Spoelstra. So and Bam's like the linchpin. So that's a good pick.
And then next, I think I'm leaning Robert Williams. I'm worried about the health for sure. I do think he has a better chance than Marcus Smart of repeating. That's just such a tough task, especially for a guard to do. I worry about his health though, if I'm being honest. But at this point in the draft, I'm not really seeing anyone that makes me want to shout. So I'll take Robert Williams. Sure. The Time Lord.
So we've taken out of the top.
Okay, I'm happy I got
guys.
2 more, actually. I got a couple good ones. You guys better not take.
I'm definitely taking one of yours.
We've taken 7 of the best 9 odds, so we're almost all going pretty chalk with this.
Oh, I've been fully chalk so far.
It's difficult though.
I'm saving my last 3 for Flyers.
Yeah.
My third. Okay, I'm gonna save my last 2 now that you said that, Eden. My third pick, and I don't know what overall selection we are at currently. I am going to go. I appreciate you sliding down a bit.
Gets pretty rough down here.
Goodness gracious, it did not get better. It just slide right back up, Oren. Slide right back up. Thank you. I'm going to go Jaren Jackson Jr.
We inform you now or later that he's out for the first 4 months.
Okay.
No, it could be a couple months. It could only be 2 months.
I will. I mean, even if it's a couple months, I'm gonna remove that. Pretend I didn't say Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm gonna go.
I already wrote it down. It's in print.
You got to erase it.
All right.
At least we have evidence that Sahal didn't do any research before this draft.
You woke up 5 minutes late for the draft.
Yeah,
Dude, I've been thinking about this for the last week. Are you kidding me?
None of us did any research for this.
I want to go Jared Allen, but like Evan Mobley's there, and when I want to go Evan Mobley, Jared Allen's there. I'm just gonna go Evan Mobley. I mean,
wow, this guy hates Scotty.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Evan Mobley.
This guy's Team Mobley. This guy's
and that's
Team
what you
Mobley.
get, Aiden, for that comment. So I just took your pick. And
I could have just held on to that little tidbit of information.
Evan Mobley is my third selection for my team.
Dude. As a Raptors fan, that's a really bad look.
That gives me Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, and Evan Mobley. I don't need to really discuss why I picked him. He's probably going to be one of the best defensive players in the league for the next decade. So, yeah, I'm going to go Evan Mobley pretty confidently.
Well, that's too bad because I was also going to go Evan Mobley pretty confidently.
Nice. Love to hear it.
I'm going to take one guy that I think Oren's going to take. So I'm going to take him now because I'm a little nervous that he's going to pass him by. And I'm going to go with Herbert Jones out of New Orleans. You were going to take Irby?
No, buddy.
Oh, I thought you were. Anyway, Herbert Jones had a lot of buzz as a rookie last year, was a true lockdown wing defender. And I think New Orleans is going to surprise a lot of people this year. I'm pretty high. Yeah, I am Team Mobley, and I'm damn proud of it.
It's on record. It's on record now, so that's good.
Team Mobley and Team Scotty. You can be both.
No, you can't. No.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be kind of the reason why defensively New Orleans is going to be able to battle with teams like the Clippers and the Lakers because he's going to walk in there and lock down the primary score.
It's also going to be much easier to pick him if New Orleans has a much better season, like we've all been predicting. Totally. So
yeah,
right,
yeah, and nobody else on the team is really known for their defense per se. So I'm happily taking Herb, and then for my second, did I say Herb? I meant Herb.
Herbert.
Silent H.
It's French. It's Herbert Jones. Yeah.
It's really tough now. You know, I'm just going to do it because I love him so much. And I'm going to draft OG Anunoby.
Nice. Yeah, let's have the Raptors talk.
Because
I was looking at all their names. Sorry.
And the thing is again, the problem is just like with the other awards, they're a collective bunch. It's hard to find one that stands out beyond the other. But I just think that OG has the highest ceiling of them all to be the Herb Jones or the Mikal Bridges that gets talked about at a national level. He's big, he's agile, he's long, he is always up there in deflections and steals, I believe. And yeah, I think OG is our best defender.
I agree. And I think what you said about the national talking is smart because a lot of national media have been ready to kind of anoint OG and he just haven't taken that step forward. But I kind of think Precious will be more important to their defense next season. And the reason for that is like twofold. Like one, they no longer have to play these OG at the 5 lineups as much because they have Scotty and they have Precious and they have a bunch of guys who play the 4-5. And it's just like there was that season in Tampa where it was like literally like OG, you're our 5. And it's like, no, that's not the case anymore. So that he can only do so much guarding wings, especially when you switch everything and like there's so many guys who guard wings. So yeah, I just think Precious, if he takes a jump as like a rim protector, he's gonna be the Raptors' most important defender. But at the same time, I don't think the national media is ready to like anoint Precious the defensive player of the year.
Yeah, and that argument could almost go the other way too, though. It's like it gives if OG is not getting buried behind like Nikola Jokic, it gives him the opportunity to shine even more as this defender in isolation, which he is.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah.
The problem really with the Raptors is that too many of them overlap.
Yeah.
They switch every ball screen. It's like it's really hard to.
Yeah. Is it me?
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I'm gonna curb my recent line of thinking with going three bigs. I'm gonna go DeJounte Murray at plus 6,000.
That was one of my guys.
So the reason I'm taking him is because the Hawks are the most underwhelming team in the league in the last few years. I mean, they had that really good run in the playoffs when Trae Young just, I guess, made his namesake. But if they really, really take a leap, because DeJounte Murray was traded to the Hawks, and this was one of the, I guess, biggest moves of the offseason, an all-star going to the Hawks from San Antonio Spurs. If the Hawks take a big leap, naturally people are going to look at this team and go, DeJounte Murray is the primary reason for this, or one of the primary reasons for this. And eyes are going to be on the Hawks. I mean, the Hawks, before they even acquired DeJounte Murray, were one of the fun teams to watch in the league. Now they're going to be really fun, especially because DeJounte Murray was like bouncing the ball off of people's head in the offseason and just doing a bunch of Markieff Morris type nonsense during the offseason. But I'm going to go DeJounte for that reason, because I think the Hawks are going to be a better team. And I think a lot of that is going to be attributed to their team defense improving. And naturally, people are going to look at that and go, well, hey, we've got one of the best defensive guards in the league beside one of the worst. And DeJounte's doing really well for Atlanta. So I'm going to go DeJounte, my 4th pick.
Yeah, I like him for the same reasons.
It's a good storyline, too, because the contrast of their defense last year to this year, if it improves drastically, will be attributed to him.
It's weird, though, because the Hawks have so much talent, but like even before they got DeJounte, they had so much talent, just they couldn't put it together. And then you saw like the side stories of John Collins wanting to trade and this guy and that guy. And I think Kevin Huerter got traded to the Kings, if I'm not mistaken, guys, this offseason. So, but yeah, now they got DeJounte Murray. And I actually have more faith in this pick than my Evan Mobley pick for him to guarantee me points. So I'm pretty happy with it.
And more importantly, they just signed Jarrett Culver. So,
Raptors, come on, better be doing Toronto.
Yeah, now I'm really in a bind here. I thought I had someone, and I'm really double taking it.
I mean, I see a specific guy at plus 15,000. Oren, one of your favorite
Dylan Brooks.
Dogs
trust me, I thought about it.
One of your favorite dogs.
I know.
Man. Oh man.
I have 2. Do you want me to give you one of mine, Oren? So you can draft for me?
Well, you can say it. and then we can talk about it.
I think Ben Simmons is a good pick.
If he plays, yeah.
But I could never
quite a
take
bit.
Ben Simmons. That goes against my credo. I could. It's you have to stay on your brand, man. You got to stay on brand, and I'm staying
Oren,
on
I
brand.
said the name Ben Simmons in the last video, and you look like you were gonna puke. So that's how I just know you're not going Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I also just don't. I feel like he has these back issues. I just don't think he can be relied upon to be the guy every night who's like the best defender, guarding the best guys. But anyways, I don't really want to talk about Benny Boy.
These are your last two picks, Oren, right? 4th and 5th?
Yeah, they are. First pick, let me go. Okay, let me go Jimmy Butler.
Wow.
And I say that knowing he's a guy who doesn't go that hard in the regular
Miami
season.
Heaters. Right?
Exactly. And I didn't really want to take 2 Heat guys because I don't even really believe they're going to be a top seed. However, PJ left.
Yeah.
Jimmy is kind of their only option to throw on big wings.
Cody Martin.
No. And have success against.
They're going to try Cody Martin, and they're probably going to try Strus too sometimes, but.
I mean, you think they're going to try them against the Kawhis of the world as a primary defender?
Can't ask Jimmy to do everything.
It's true, but on one hand, they might have to ask Jimmy to take a bit of a step back offensively, ask Bam to do a bit more, and like to be the wing defender that PJ was last season. Maybe they'll make a trade to fill that, maybe not. They probably will, so it might be a bad pick. But anyways, when Jimmy is locked in, he is like a top wing defender in the league. So if he does that in the regular season, it's a big F. And then next, I'm really debating between the two Suns here. Mikal Bridges and DeAndre Ayton.
It is kind of shocking that Bridges hasn't gone yet.
It is, but it's like we're kind of drafting a lot of bigs with the idea that like it's going to revert back to normal, which is kind of why I like Ayton here. But Bridges, he does have. I'll take Bridges. I guess the narrative too is like finishing as runner-up. They like to reward guys, and so. Yeah, maybe the Suns are good again and Bridges wins.
I'm just so bored of the Suns.
Same.
That's why I didn't choose him. I should have chosen him instead of OG. That would have been the smarter choice.
Smart hasn't been taken either.
Yeah, I'm not.
But back to you, Sahal. If you want to take Smart. If you want to
So you took Jimmy Butler and Bridges, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I am going to go. I'm deciding between two guys.
Talk about it. Talk us through it.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. And people in the comments may not like this because he has a lot of people who don't like him. But I'm gonna go Patrick Beverley, who's recently traded to the Lakers.
Wow.
Aiden hates it, and that makes me like to pick more. I'm gonna go Patrick Beverley. I'm just riding this wave of thinking that the Lakers are going to be healthy this year, and they're going to be good because when their best players are healthy, LeBron and AD, they're going to be good. And you guys have to, like, I understand not liking Patrick Beverley, especially if you're a Russell Westbrook fan. I get it. You're still holding on to it. Things he's done to other players, sure. But, man, like, you called Dylan Brooks a dog in the other video, Oren. Like, Patrick Beverley might be, like, the most vicious. Like, he's just...
Yeah,
I love him, but I love Patrick Beverley. People hate me for saying that.
I like Bev too. I'm not anti Bev's like swagger or anything like that, but I do think he has more bark than bite in like when you're looking at like his bravado versus what he actually does on the floor. Whereas Brooks is a little less barky and a lot more bitey.
Yeah.
Is he though? I agree with
I think Brooks is a better player than Pat Bev on both ends.
I think Bev's too small to be a defensive player of the year.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's just too small.
And they're going to ask him to defend every good point guard every night. And he's getting older.
He is getting older.
I don't know.
I'm going to go Pat Bev at plus 8,000. And I don't understand how Westbrook's at the same odds, but I'm going to go Pat Bev For that reason, I
that's
think the Lakers are going to throw him on every best guard. And to be honest, can anybody guard a Devin Booker in the league? Can anybody? No, but I mean, Pat Bev relative to some of the other, I guess, good defensive guards in the league, not great. Like Drew Holiday will have his day against some guys defensively, right? And I'm not comparing to. I think Drew Holiday's on a totally different level, but I think Pat Bev, he has had some really, really good moments that a lot of people haven't given him credit for. And when I say moments, I mean games. Like he gets thrown on players for entire games, and whether he gets in their head or whatever he does, stealing the ball. I think he's a good culture guy. Went to Minnesota that 1 year. Minnesota just started winning. I don't think that's.
Oh my God, those comments he had.
I don't think that's solely because of him.
Behavior. That was
it is. It
was. Actually, people like I was joking about that on Twitter, and people were like, "Nah, he could say what he wants. It's true." I was joking, but at the other hand, it's like, no, you actually can't say that to LeBron. You're in the wrong. Like, you went to Minnesota, they had a really good team around you, and you fucking made the playoffs and lost in the first round. LeBron's been to 9 finals in a row. LeBron went to 9 finals in a row. You don't.
It's not about. It's not about.
But again, that goes back to what Aiden said about bigger bark than bite. That's just. I mean, he's just a bark. He just barks.
He knows deep down, it's all bullshit. He knows. 100%. But you have to have that attitude. You have that's what they acquired him for. For that arrogance.
Thank you.
And he is like he wears it so much more than anybody else.
The last thing I'm going to say about Pat Bev is that look at the Lakers roster. Like who gives you bite on that team? Who are you?
Yeah, well,
no, I think it was a good pickup. You know? I think it was a good pickup. I just think this is asking way too much of him. But I will say Pat Bev is not bullshitting. Like one time when I saw him live for the first time, I was literally like in awe of like this man's. He's like insane. Like he's constantly just talking and yelling and like fighting guys and talking to the ref, like to the point of like, yo, this guy's actually like off the fucking rocker. Like somebody give this guy a downer right now.
I'm honestly surprised there's not more guys like that in the NBA because him and Dre, although like Dre is a different case, but both of them have demonstrated that like if you take on that persona, you have a place in the league. Like it's not like Beverly is that athletic to be this renowned as like a defensive presence, and yet.
No, but think about what has to actually be going on in your mind to do that. It's not like you can just tell yourself, "Oh, I'm going to behave this way from now on."
I know, but I mean, behavior aside, though, I'm just talking about like
his story. You guys need to understand his story.
Tony Allen's the same thing. Tony Allen's like comes back from his torn ACL, and he's like, "I'm just going to be a no bullshit son of a bitch on defense," and like, and next thing you know, he's one of the best defensive players in the league. Like,
but the parallel between all these guys is a lot of times it comes down to their story. Like there's context behind it. Patrick Beverley came from the I don't want to call it the slums in Chicago, but the Chicago's well known as if you live in the hoods in Chicago, a lot of people, and when I say a lot of people don't make it out. So this is why a lot of people gravitate towards Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is probably the total opposite of Patrick Beverley in terms of bark and bite. Derrick Rose is a quiet guy. It's a game winner. He's not saying anything. I want to see Patrick Beverley hit a game winner. He will take a camera. He'll take a camera like this and shake it and scream. When they clinched the playoffs, he was standing on top of the
I was all for that. I was all for that.
I loved it.
That. Yeah,
we're talking way too much about Pat Beverley.
You're right.
Yeah, we really went off on a tangent.
That was my last pick.
Okay,
Pat Bev, baby.
Aiden.
I mean, it bought me a lot of time to deliberate over my last pick. I actually just have no idea what I'm gonna do. Part of me wants to go Drew Holiday because I do feel like he's deserving. It's been like especially in the playoffs, he's shown that he's probably actually the best defensive guard. Like when he really turns it on, he's pretty unbeatable.
Is Ben Simmons a guard?
He's a combo forward guard.
Because I would have Ben Simmons above him, but I get what you're saying. I'm just thinking about who's the best defensive guard in the league.
Well, on a ball handler, though, is Ben Simmons guarding a ball handler as well as Drew?
I guess it depends if we're talking quickness or strength. So it's
I'm talking about like
we're getting into too much. I'm just saying, is he a guard? Because Ben Simmons, like on Kawhi, was like the best guy on Kawhi.
Yeah, but Ben Simmons wing defender. I'm saying I'm saying Drew on point of attack, ball handler, guard.
Yes.
Like
I
there,
agree.
I don't feel like there's anybody.
You actually just said guard defender, but yeah. Okay.
Well, Kawhi Leonard is not a guard, Oren, so Ben Simmons isn't guarding a guard in your example.
Oh no, but Ben Simmons is a guard, I think. Technically, but anyways,
whatever. Anyway, you know what? Just for that, I'm going to go Drew Holiday. I talked myself into it.
Yeah, I thought you already did. Nice.
No,
okay.
I was going to go Patrick Williams.
You love that guy,
man.
You really love that guy.
First of all, the Bulls would have to be really good.
That's true.
And then he would have to be. I mean, he is their best defense. No, that's not even true. They got Lonzo and Caruso.
Well, Lonzo, we don't know.
I think Drew is a better pick.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I love the Drew pick.
Okay,
and I think Milwaukee's coming back with some with a vengeance this season too. And like Drew didn't play. He played in the Olympics last year. Like he's had some time to breathe.
Do we want to maybe just say some reasons these guys didn't get picked? Like Marcus Smart, I guess no one thinks he can repeat is the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Miles Turner, we don't know where he's going, and he's playing for Indiana, so I kind of wrote him off. Ben Simmons, I wanted, but like you said, he's not healthy, so we don't really know what we're gonna get with him.
Yeah, Kawhi, I just don't think he'll play a lot, and he won't lock in to the extent that he's capable of, especially defensively. Like I wanted to pick a Clipper, but I just couldn't really find it in my heart.
So I was deciding between Kawhi and with my last pick, Kawhi, Pat Bev, and Paul George, because I'm all for the Clipper revival. I think it's going to happen this year. I think they're just
same.
The Clippers are going to go crazy this year, but no one selected Jared Allen, right?
I was going to say Jared Allen deserves a shout out.
He does.
I just think Mobley can kind of do what Allen does, but then he can do so much more on top of that.
Yeah. I thought about like LeBron.
Stop, Oren. Just stop.
Caruso's going to be asked to do a lot of Lonzo Ball on.
Just stop.
LeBron played some really good defense, man.
Yeah, he did.
When the Lakers were doing good things, because he was also like their 5 for long parts of the year, he was really good on defense when he was like bought in for those 7 games.
We talked about some Raptors. We didn't mention Fred VanVleet, guys.
I know, and I'm surprised his odds are so bad. If Marcus Smart can win this award, Fred VanVleet can one day win this award.
25,000.
Like it's possible. They're very similar guys. He's obviously smaller, but man, there was a string of games. I remember Will Lou was like clipping all the possessions where like Fred literally changed a string of games with his defense when the Raptors like had a bunch of injuries, and he was just like causing like 8 turnovers a game for like a week. I don't know if you guys remember that. Like, I had that insane stretch.
I wrote about it actually at one point. I called them ghost steals. There was like so many examples of where he like the ball pressure, he was just forcing turnovers without actually touching the ball.
Like they were scared.
Yeah. And like he just caused so much havoc. Not to mention his strips are the best thing to watch. One of the best things to watch defensively in the NBA.
On bigs, yeah.
Yeah, like where he crocodile arms the ball or just like one-hands it. He's so strong with his arms. But yeah, we got to get out of here because we swore we would do a shorter video, and honestly, we talked about Pat Beverly for 7 goddamn minutes.
Take us home, Sal.
So that was our Defensive Player of the Year draft. All of the odds you guys will be able to see on the screen on video. For our podcast listeners, we tried our best to explain to you the odds of each player. Oren, Sahal, Adon. I mean, for me, guys, I'm gonna quickly say I think I got the best.
All right.
Well, you have an asterisk no matter what happens because you're supposed to have Jaren Jackson Jr. on your team.
Adon, you're not supposed to mention that. All right, everybody, we want you to like and
comment and obviously subscribe to the Raptors Republic channel. We appreciate all of you guys for watching. This is our Defensive Player of the Year draft, and next up will be our Coach of the Year draft, which should be fun as well. I am going to go Bernie Bickerstaff. No, I'm joking. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.